Everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering a very important question that I get asked a lot, which is how do you make your first $1,000 as an insurance agency owner? If you guys are new here, then my name is Sherelle. I am an agency owner and educator, and I'm here to get you licensed and start your careers in insurance. All right, before we can get started on how you're going to make your first $1,000 as an insurance broker, you need to understand how insurance brokers actually get paid. So, insurance broker, we get paid a commission through the policies that we sell. We do not get paid hourly. So, for a quick example, if the policy premium for a year is $1,000 and we receive a 10% premium, then we will receive $100 for that policy. Now, here's where things can get a little bit tricky as a broker. One, every single company pays a different percentage. And yes, they can pay a different percentage at new business, and then they can pay you a different percentage at renewal. So for new business, you might receive 10%, but then at renewal, the company might only pay you 8% of the premium. Also, depending on if you have a direct appointment or not. If you do not have a direct appointment and you're working through an aggregator, the aggregator might also charge you a percentage of that commission. So again, using the same example, if you sold a policy that was $1,000 and you received 10% of that, which is $100, but then say you have a 70-30 split with your aggregator, you might only receive $70 and your aggregator is going to receive $30. So when you hear agencies owners talk about building a book of business, this is what they're talking about. You're building your book, and off of your premium, that is what your agency is typically worth. So if we're using the example of 10%, and you have $1 million agency and premium, then your agency is worth about $100,000 a year, give or take. And I cannot tell you guys the good without telling you the bad. There is also something called chargebacks. So what is a chargeback? This is when a client cancels a policy and we owe part of our commission back to the carrier. Now, depending on the carrier, some carriers do pay you all of your commission up front. However, if a client is on monthly payments, sometimes the carriers will pay you as the client pays their monthly bill. So let me give you guys a quick example of what a chargeback would look like. Going back to our original example, if the premium was $1,000 for the year, we received $100 and say that it was a direct sale, we don't owe our aggregator any money. If our client was to cancel 6 months into the policy, then we would owe $50 back to the insurance company. All right, so now that we understand how our commissions get paid, how do we actually get this money, right? There is several different ways to market your insurance agency, and everything doesn't work for everybody. There is no right or wrong way to market your agency, but there is different ways, and depending on how fast you want to grow your agency, or if you want to focus on personal lines or commercial lines, the approaches can be different. So one main approach is going to be B2C, which is business to consumer. So you as the agent would be cold calling, running ads, or doing door knocking. You would be directly going to the client and asking for the business. Then we have another approach, which is B2B, business to business, which is what I personally like to do. I like to work a warm market. So what this looks like is going to events, networking, joining your local chamber. You will be networking with other insurance agents, real estate agents, mortgage lenders to receive referrals from them to you so that you can quote their clients. And again, guys, there's no right or wrong answer. Cold calling, the key here would be consistency, and the way that I like to do it, which is in the warm market and referrals, the key here is trust and being available to help your referral partners. So if you're trying to make your first $1,000 as an insurance broker or agent, the key here is to understand your commissions, Be aware of chargebacks and splits. And then number 3, focus on your marketing plan so that you can bring in clients. All right, guys, and if you're serious about starting your own insurance agency or getting into the insurance industry, make sure you check out our website, insureyou.info. We have a ton of resources and guides to help you get licensed or to start your own independent agency. And I will see you guys in the next video.